Yes, we follow. There's a start and finish line. I'm gonna run my race to win. 'Cause I'm marching, I'm moving, step by step. I'm running, my race is not finished yet. When God speaks, I wanna listen, walk in obedience. Ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Ready, set, go.
Good morning, boys and girls. I hope that you guys are really well. I'm very excited to be here, and I hope that you are also excited to learn more about God's chosen people, the Israelites, and I hope that you are also here to learn more about how God loves you, wants the best for you, and also looks out and looks after you wherever you go. So if you can remember last week, we spoke about a man called Joseph. Now this is Joseph, he's got an orange material on his head, and Joseph was actually working for the Pharaoh. Now the Pharaoh was a king, and he had lots and lots of land and lots of people worked for him because he was very important. And Joseph, because the Pharaoh knew that Joseph was loved by God and God looked after him, the Pharaoh said, Joseph, you can work for me. And Joseph helped the king, helped him make decisions. But then, unfortunately, this king, let's call him the Blue King, he was not there anymore. He passed away. And then there was a new king, call him Green King. That wasn't really his name, but I'm just calling him Green King so you can remember there were two different kings. But he didn't like Joseph, and he didn't really know Joseph. And this king didn't want anything to do with Joseph and God's people and Joseph's family. This king was very afraid of them because Joseph's people and God's people were many people. And this king said, I don't like them. I don't want Joseph and God's people to become more and more. But God knew that this king wasn't very good. And God looked after his people and he looked after his babies. And Joseph's people became more and more. So Joseph and God's chosen people just became more and more. And this king was mean to them. He then said, I'm going to make them work and I'm going to make them build things for me and I'm going to be really mean to them. And Joseph's people, God's people, they were suffering. And then this mean king said even something more horrible than you could ever imagine. So this king said, I want you to kill all the babies, especially the boys. I don't want any boys. Now that is something which is really horrible. And what happened was Joseph, one of his brothers, had a wife and she had a baby. And because they knew that this king was out looking for babies and he wanted to kill all the babies, as soon as they heard a cry, they would go to the house and they would kill the baby. So what happened was this mum looked after the baby. She looked after him very nicely and she looked after him as much as she could. But when the baby became bigger, he became noisier and she couldn't hide him anymore. So what she did was she thought, I'm going to take him, put him in a basket, and I'm going to put him in a river. And hopefully someone's going to pick him up. I'm going to play you a very short video, and I hope that you enjoy the story about Moses, about his birth, and how special he was to our Father in heaven, and what an amazing journey Moses made from being left in the river to being found by a princess.
The Faithful Hall of Fame, Moses. This is Moses. Hey-o. Moses was a descendant of Joseph's brother Levi. Hey. Joseph and his brothers had many children and grandchildren who lived happily in Egypt. Eventually, a new pharaoh came to power who knew nothing of Joseph or what he had done. This pharaoh feared the Israelites because there was a great number of them living in Egypt, so he wanted to put a stop to their prosperity. Pharaoh made the Israelites slaves. He made them work long, hard hours building up Egyptian cities. But his plan didn't work, and the Israelites grew more in number and in strength. So Pharaoh made a rule that no Israelite boy would be allowed to live in Egypt. This is where Moses' story begins. You see, when Moses was born, his mother saw that he was a special baby, and she kept him hidden for 3 months. But when she could no longer keep him a secret, she made a basket and put him in the Nile River among the reeds. Moses' sister stayed to watch what would happen to her baby brother, and soon the Pharaoh's daughter came to the edge of the river. When she saw the basket, she sent her servant to get it. When she saw the baby, she felt sorry for him, thinking he must be an Israelite baby who wasn't supposed to live. Then Moses' sister asked the princess if she would like her to find an Israelite woman to take care of the baby. So Moses' sister went and got her mother. Moses' own mother took care of him until he was old enough to live in the Pharaoh's house, where the princess adopted him as her son. And so, Moses, an Israelite boy who wasn't supposed to live, became the adopted grandson of the Pharaoh and lived in the palace as God prepared him for a great destiny that was only just starting to unfold.
Whoa, what an amazing story that God always comes through, that God helped Moses when he was left in a river by himself, how God used the mean king and to use his daughter, the princess, to find the baby and look after him and make sure that he was going to grow up and that he was going to be looked after so that he could do something amazing for our Father in heaven. Isn't that amazing that God uses a little baby to create something and to make something amazing? So in the next couple of lessons, what you'll find is you'll find out more about Moses, about his life, and how God, our Father in heaven, used Moses and looked after him and helped Moses to look after God's people. Our memory verse for today comes from Exodus chapter 2, verse 10, and it says, Moses, this little baby, Moses became the princess's son. So it means that this little baby, he became the son of the princess. And God had an amazing plan, and he was going to use this baby in a very important way to lead his people and to help his people. So if you can repeat after me, Exodus 2, verse 10, Moses became the princess's son. Moses became the princess's son. Boys and girls, we have come to the end of our lesson. I want you guys to go out today, during the week, and I want you to go and tell people, your mum, your dad, your brother, your sister, your friends, and lots of people that you see, tell them that God loves them. Tell them that even if things sometimes go horribly wrong, just like we had the mean king and he tried to kill all the babies, or sometimes things doesn't work our way, sometimes we get sick, or sometimes someone that we know might not be there anymore. We know that God has an amazing plan for all of us, and that he looks after us, and that he cares for us and loves us very, very much. So go and tell someone God loves them, that God cares for them, and that God has an amazing plan for them and their lives. Have a fantastic week, and I will see all of you very, very soon. Thank you for joining. Bye.